Welcome to Talk Tuesday. I'm Susan Buchser-Lochocki, running for President of the United States with the Green Party, and this is my Matter Studio. Welcome. So I'm changing my outfit now a little bit to my summer clothes. This is a little vest that I picked up when I was in the U.S. back in February at the Navajo Nation. And I like it. It's nice and colorful, and yeah, it still gives that coat effect without full coverage because it's getting warmer now, and this dress is kind of warm. So, I don't want to wear my velvet anymore. So, anyways, this is the new official look for the summer. Then I want to continue the topic of Hispanic and the history. So I read the general history of the Americas, sort of starting at the standpoint of when the Europeans came over. And it's clearly a description of history from the European standpoint itself. But that's a little bit where we are now. If we dissect it a little bit, we have, we have the Europeans, and then we have the Native Americans who were there before, or we can, to be more encompassing, we can say indigenous people. And that goes for North America, South America, and Central America, and the Pacific Islands, and everything. So currently in the Green Party, we have a Black Caucus, we have a Latinx Caucus, we have the Lavender Greens Caucus, we have the National Women's Caucus, and we have the Young Euro-Socialist Caucus. Then we have ones that would like to be caucuses for various reasons, and then we have other ones that would really like to be, but are nowhere near getting there. So we have like a disability caucus, perhaps, a labor caucus, indigenous caucus, an elder caucus, immigrant caucus, and a poverty caucus. So I don't know, it could be the last two, or I don't know if they're my ideas or something. I did research a few days ago, and a lot's going on still. So, I think really what we're talking about is there are people who are brutalized by the police and are receiving prejudice by just their outside looks. And, maybe somehow that could be a caucus. And then there are specific ones that are really important, I think, like an elderly. And, I suppose we could do like an elderly and a children's one. Disability could also be with a health one. There's no list of health here. And so, and then an immigrant one would be good to cover, not necessarily, just to cover everybody, all people coming to the United States from another place, and it is regardless of color or location. Then I think we really need a poverty one, and of course, I guess that could be mixed with the labor one. But I think we need to maybe rethink some of our caucuses a little bit, because I don't think they're all encompassing. And I know that the Native Americans or indigenous people would be very happy to support and fight for the Black Caucus. But they feel somehow left out, perhaps, I don't know. They're also not as big, and their voices are more reserved, they're quieter. So we often don't give them space. So I don't know, this is where I am with with all these different issues. We also, other issues that I came up with was also animal rights caucus. Do we have that? And a plant earth-based caucus. So, I don't know. We might want to rethink the caucus system and what we're using and how we use it. What happened is I had a friend of mine, she said, well, what am I going to do for the Latino women? When I was talking to her about me running for president, and she was saying she was going towards this other woman, and or this other candidate, and I said, you know, are they not women? Do they not have the same problems that I have? You know, I mean, so I don't know. I mean, for me, I think women, you know, we have the Women's Caucus, and women's issues come out of there. It's clearly, you know, there is a clear difference between men and women. Now we've also discussed over the recent time, there's this rainbow area, which is also the lavender caucus. So, you know, I think that's all squared away. You know, the other thing that I was thinking is we also seem to have all these issues, and yet too, where is the men's caucus? Men and boys caucus? Or just the men's caucus? You know, maybe they need a caucus too. Because, you know, I think a lot of our issues are because the men are really stressed out. We're all stressed out. But I think, you know, we're focusing on all these special interest areas when, you know, men have also interests. They also have a voice. And I think that we're not listening to that one either. And I think that's part of this racial problem that we have. We need to address that. We need to really, these are clearly men who never, how can I say it? I think that they've found their way into a society because they never felt comfortable in a different society. So we have to focus on men's issues too, if that makes sense. So yeah, so that's sort of my friend who asked me that question about Latino women. You know, I said, well, I'm a woman. It's the same thing. I'm also living in Switzerland right now, so I know what it's like to be an immigrant too. And trust me, you know, they're equally, they have their own issues here with immigrants. And I've had my fair share of that experience here. Not as much as some, but enough to know what that's like. So I don't know. I think maybe we're dividing the lines wrong in our caucuses, perhaps. And now I've made a big mess of them all. So if you're all confused, I think that's perfectly normal, because I am too. I don't know where we should go forward with this. I would like your opinion. So please send me a message. Let me know what you think. What are the correct lines for the caucuses? And who fits in where, and how can we support each other? Because that's ultimately what we want. We want to support each other, and we want to stop these bad behaviors. Specifically right now, police brutality, and then racism, and then sexism, and down the line, right? That's what we all want. So we're better together, we're stronger together. And that's what we need to realize. So what's the best way to open up the caucuses to be more inclusive and to get better support? That's my question to you. And on that note, I'm going to end this first Talk Tuesday. This is the end of part 1, and I will pick up on part 2 in a few minutes, I hope. All right, bye for now. Thanks for stopping by.